Hello everyone and welcome back to Nathrandir's Guide to Everything. This is the Beginner's Guide to series and today we're going to be creating a bard. So let's jump straight into D&D Beyond and let's get this done. Okay guys, so if you've been following this series you probably know where you are by now. We're going to go straight over to my characters and we're going to look to create a new one. And for a bard, if you're musically inclined in real life, this can be a great character to play, or if you're not, this can still be a great character to play and it can perhaps make you more musical moving forwards, but there's loads of options now with how you play them and such. So let's just randomly roll a name like we always do. Okay guys, so I just spent far too long randomizing names. We've now got to Halloran, and that's what we're going to go with for now. So let's jump on to the next screen, which is going to be race. And I am on my main account, so you'll probably see a few things here that don't look exactly the same as yours. But a race that you will have that I would recommend for a bard is the half-elf. The half-elf has a +2 to charisma and +1 to 2 other ability scores. They have dark vision out the gate, and they have a fate ancestry, which means they have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. You also get an extra 2 proficiency skills of our choice, so we can play this however we want. So half-elf is a great choice for a bard. Any charisma score increase is what you're looking for. Ability scores, we're going to go with, because we already get charisma, we're going to go dexterity, I would imagine, and if we're magically inclined, I think intelligence. If you wanted to be a bit healthier, you could go constitution. There, we're going to go intelligence though. Skill versatility, we're going to be very dexterous, so acrobatics is going to be good, and let's go with persuasion as well. I think due to our bardic nature, any charisma based skills would be fantastic here. Languages, we could already speak Common and Elvish, which makes sense. I think it would be fun to be able to recite maybe some halfling poems or songs, something like that. Again, this is all choice for your world, your game, however you want to play it. If you grew up in a Dragonborn society, then go with Draconic, because that's probably more likely. Okay, and then we're going to hit Bard. Now bards get loads of cool stuff there. Mainly, it's a great utility class. You can do a little bit of everything, you get access to loads of spells, you're proficient in almost everything by the time you've leveled up a little bit, so it can get a little bit crazy. But let's have a look. So add in the class, our hit points, we get a 1d8, which is a standard for not quite as bad as a wizard, but it's still pretty squishy. So constitution will always be helpful. We can choose some proficiencies with musical instruments. So whichever you prefer here. I play the drums a little bit in real life, so we're going to go with that for there. I think a lute, which is quite classical. I'm thinking of Dandelion from The Witcher, that kind of vibe. And probably a pan flute sounds fun. And we get 3 more proficiencies out the gate. Performance is a must. If we're a musician, performance is just a must. We're going to go with things that will be helpful across the board. I think intimidation, again, a charisma skill, and I think arcana, because I'd like to be kind of adept at spotting magical things as well. The music of creation and magics that we weave will help us identify magical items. So spell casting for bards is, you can read this whole paragraph. I would recommend if you're considering playing one for the first time. All you need to know is that every level you get more spells. You can use your instrument to channel your spells as your arcane focus, and when you level up, that's when you can swap out and change your spells, but only one. So when you level up, you'll learn some new ones and you can change one for another. You can't just, every long rest, you can't change spells like you can with, say, an Artificer, one of our previous classes that we've covered here. So it is more limited. You have to know what you're picking, so do some reading before you just jump in with your spells. And at level 1, we can also do Bardic Inspiration. So we inspire others through stirring words or with music, and that's why I said you can play a bard however you like. To do so, you use your bonus action and choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet who can hear you, so you inspire your allies. And that creature gains 1 Bardic Inspiration die, which at this level is a d6. Once within the next 10 minutes, the creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes. So a red dragon breathes fire at your party. You gave your wizard friend a bardic inspiration, a d6. The saving throw for an adult red dragon's breath is, I want to say, 19 or 20. They roll an 18, and all they need is an extra 2 to be able to get over that saving throw and succeed, so they don't get burnt alive. Your bardic inspiration may help them. They can choose to roll it, add it to their number, and perhaps escape certain death, make sure a vital attack hits, or if they really need to find something in a room, they can buff their next investigation check, let's say. But fantastic ability, and a great buff for anyone in your team. Okay, let's go next. We're going abilities. So now, abilities for a bard, we're going to go standard array again. Charisma is what you want to be your highest, absolutely. That's how all your spells function, which is primarily what you're going to be doing as a bard. And then dexterity, because you will have a rapier, you will have a melee weapon, and you want to be able to get out of bad situations and things like that, I think. You do have more options as a bard, but spellcasting is your primary. Dexterity, I imagine, as a half-elf, quite acrobatic is how I'm imagining it. Constitution next, definitely, keep you alive, because you don't have that many hit points. My character, I'm going to go intelligence as my next highest, because I want them to be quite book read and quite historical, if that makes sense, and know the lore of the world, as it were. I'm going to go wisdom 10 and strength 8. I'm picturing quite a weedy fellow in my head, a little bit like myself, when creating this character. So there are our scores. Our highest is charisma, second highest dexterity. 17 charisma out the gate is fantastic. Okay, so Halloran, our background. I've got a lot more than you will have. If this is your first time using D&D Beyond, you may have some of these that you might want to pick. You could pick Entertainer, Folk Hero, whatever you want. I'm actually picturing someone that's been on the wrong side of the law for a while. Maybe someone that worms their way into playing in the local tavern and swindles people for all their cash, or has a companion go around and pickpocket people while they're performing. So we're going to go with that. Which gives us proficiency in deception and stealth, as well as with thieves' tools. That dexterity will come in hand when unlocking doors, unlocking chests, robbing people. And I think a playing card set that might be rigged in my world, and that's what I imagine anyway. So a criminal contact as a background gives you a contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. So you can get messages across continents, as it says, corrupt caravans, seedy sailors who can deliver messages, maybe give you passage around places. Your seedy past gives you the know-how to get around. So yeah, that's great. Now, suggested characteristics, always the most fun, but let's randomly roll these. I love getting an inspired backstory. I blow up at the slightest insult. Great, probably not so good for a performer, but I guess it fits with our criminal background. Anyone that crosses us or says our music isn't as good as we know it to be, we get a bit mad about that. Maybe go a bit off the rails. I like that. That's cool. I'll take it. And we got honor. I don't steal from others in the trade. So we do have a code. We'll steal from people in a crowd while we play and distract everyone, but not from other people in the trade, not other bards just trying to make their way in the world. I like that too. And bonds. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. This also makes sense, and that might be why we're so desperately robbing people. If we owe a local noble maybe, or another criminal, like I'm thinking like a mastermind, maybe someone quite high up in an order of some kind, that's great as well. That gives us a way to justify our character's actions. Could be quite fun. And flaws. When faced with a choice between money and my friends, I've lost it. I usually choose the money. Now, this again, all perfect for what we've just discussed. If anyone gets caught pickpocketed in the crowd, we're not going to take the blame. Why would we take the blame? We can just convince the guards otherwise, because we're charismatic and we're just a local performer just trying to make our way in the world. Love that. Love that. The rest of the character details are completely up to you guys. It's personal to you. at this point. And I forgot we do get to choose 2 of these personality traits, so let's see which other one we get. First thing I do in a new place is note the locations of everything valuable or where such things could be hidden. Yep, so we perform in a new tavern, we see all the valuables on the wall, art pieces, silver goblets, whatever we want, and while we're performing we have a trusty friend that we would betray at a moment's notice, according to our floor, can sort and get all that stuff for us. Awesome. So finally we're at equipment. Now I picture a rapier for sure, quite pointed, shorter pointed sword, a long pointed sword. I think an entertainer's pack, keep people distracted, and we'll be travelling on the road I guess. And a lute, that can be our primary instrument. We also get a dagger, a crowbar, dark common clothes for those quick escapes that we need when we don't want to be recognised, and a bit of cash. Sounds good. We can look at the PDF of our character sheet for paper use for playing in real life, which not a lot of people are doing at the moment, but hopefully soon. But we're just going to go straight to viewing the character sheet. So here we are on our half-elf bard's character sheet, Halloran. We have proficiency in acrobatics, arcana, deception, intimidation, performance, persuasion, and stealth. Perfect start for a bard. Our passive skills are lackluster, but let's take a look at adding some spells at first level. Let's see what we can get. So cantrips. Out the gate, I'm thinking if we want to make our performances more lively, get more money, I think probably dancing lights could be great to kind of set the mood in a bar. Thinking more roleplay wise here, and for any of our party that perhaps doesn't have dark vision, dancing lights would be a great one. And I think also let's keep going down this way of just distracting people while they're robbed blind by one of our compatriots. Prestidigitation is a great spell. It's a magical trick essentially, and as it says here, it's used for practice. You can create instantaneous, harmless sensory effects such as a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odour. You can snuff out fires, things like that. So if we need a distraction, prestidigitation could come out in a pinch. Wonderful. And we get 4 other spells. So let's go for, I think, disguise self, so that we can escape some places if we need to. I think detect magic would be quite apt, because then we can, when we enter into a new room, like I said, we always scan for anything valuable. This way we can just ping the magic item straight away and find our targets really easily. Disguise self does what it says on the tin. You can disguise yourself. Charm person, absolutely, we need that. With our persuasion skills, we'll be have people like butter in our fingers. We need something aggressive, I think, here, otherwise we'll be a bit stuck. Just to disable people, let's go with... Oh, none of these are aggressive, to be fair. Yeah, so we can go Thunder Wave. So if we really need to, in a pinch, we can cast a damaging spell and hopefully get away with whatever we're trying to get away with. I think that's a great first start. Yep, that gives us lots of utility. No healing as such, but it accomplishes what our mission might be as a bard. And as you can see, we've got 2 spell slots to begin with. In our features and traits, it breaks down everything about the bard, everything you need to know. There's not too much at level 1. Focus on buffing your adventuring party and yourself, using your charisma. Make sure you're the one talking to all the NPCs if you can, and that's not say steal the limelight from your friends, just make sure you're the one trying to intimidate or trying to persuade or trying to deceive. Make sure that's you, because you're the best at it. You're going to be the best at it. And so just one more reminder about Bardic Inspiration. As a bonus action, a creature other than you within 60 feet that can hear you gains an inspiration die of 1d6 for 10 minutes. Use this all the time. Make sure you use this. It is the bread and butter of the bard, and your adventuring party will definitely thank you for it. One more thing to do before we go. Equip all our stuff. You can see our armor class is not good, 13. We are a spellcaster, we are squishy, we're easy to hit. So stay at the back, do what you do best, and buff your teammates. Our dagger is +4, our rapier is +4, which we can improve over time by buffing our dexterity, but that charisma is where we really want to go. But awesome. So that is a level 1 bard. In part 2 to this, we're going to look to level them to level 3, and we're going to actually go a little bit away from the beginner side of it, because I recently purchased Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, this beautiful new book for D&D 5e, a new source book, and in there is a new college for bards. Now at level 3, that's what bards get. They can choose a college, they can choose a specialty, basically like all the other classes. It's a subclass, but the College of Spirits is quite horror themed. So if you're playing the Curse of Strahd adventure book maybe, or the Icewind Dale, they're both horror themed campaigns. The College of Spirits might be for you, and that's what we're going to experiment with next time. Okay, so this has been Nathrandir's Guide to Everything. This is a level 1 bard. We'll be moving forwards up to level 3 in the next video and picking college and things like that. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like and a comment with any criticism, feedback, any classes you want me to cover specifically in the future. But yeah, that's it. Enjoy persuading your way through anything as a bard, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.